What's poppin' T Squad? It's your girl Kiesha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea, All Shade, The Shy, Season 3, Episode 8 review. So on tonight's episode, Kiesha returns home from the hospital after being kidnapped. You know, she's still in this state of just panic and anxiety and angst and everything that a kidnapped victim and potential rape victim and abuse victim could go through. When her mother, Nina, tries to hug her, she flinches. She doesn't want to be touched by anyone. She notices that things in her room have been misplaced or whatever, and Nina looks at Dre like, bitch, I told you we shouldn't have been packing up her shit. So this is just another piece of contention for their marriage. So she prepares to be kidnapped again. Like, she is in a state of panic. She puts the chair up to the door. She checks to make sure the windows are locked. She grabs some scissors. She doesn't even sleep that night. She's just shaking and panicking. And someone like me that suffers from anxiety and has never been through anything like that, I can just imagine like what victims that have gone through the things that she's gone through experience. Like, it has to be nerve-wracking. So Dre tries to talk to Nina about, you know, the fight that they had, you know, when Nina put her out, but Nina don't want to talk about it. She's just concentrated on her child. I can understand where she was coming from, but they have issues that really need to be dealt with. Nina still carries herself like a single mother, and she won't allow Dre to be an integral part of the family. She uses her when it's beneficial to her, but then she likes to put up this wall and this boundary like, they're my kids, you don't have any say, and she can't continue to do that. So 3 days later, Kiesha still hasn't left her room. I was like, ooh, I know that cookie cat is thinking. But I can understand, like, she just wants to be alone. Dre suggests to Nina that they get her some counseling, but Nina doesn't want to pressure her. But I was like, I understand where Nina was coming from with not wanting to pressure her. But considering everything that she had gone through, it's a must that she gets some type of counseling, some type of help. There's only but so much they can do as parents. So Kiesha finally comes out of her room to use the bathroom, and Kevin is in the bathroom. He don't want to come out. He was just being so unsympathetic. I hated Kevin's character this episode. He has never gotten on my nerves this much ever. But this episode, the way they wrote his character, he was so unsympathetic. He was so selfish. He was just so into himself. He was just like, when is it going to be over? I'm like, nigga, your sister was kidnapped, raped for all we know, beaten. Like, what the fuck? You act like you cared about her coming back. Now that she back, you just back to acting like she's normal. It was like, what the fuck? So Kiesha goes in the bathroom. She turns on the shower, but she doesn't get into it. She just sits there on the toilet, just staring off into space. Then she undresses herself in the mirror and looks at herself for the first time, and she sees all the bruises on her body, but we never saw him beating her. So I'm like, when did that happen? Like, we never saw the abuse part of the situation. I was like, when was he beating on her? So I'm wondering, are they going to show us in flashbacks things that they did not show us during the season? So Dre suggests to Kiesha that she go seek counseling, but Nina once again suggests, like, you don't have to do anything until you're good and ready. And then once again, they're on opposite sides. They're not a team. And then when they leave the room, Kiesha looks up her kidnapper and sees the story where it says that he died. So she killed him. And that's just another thing that she's going to have to deal with. Like, she's killed somebody, like, on top of that. Like, I could just imagine, like, everything that she's gone through. Like, Jesus Christ. So, and I told y'all this was going to be her storyline. I told y'all in the beginning of the season that her character was not going to be dead. I told y'all that her storyline was going to be the aftermath of having to deal with being kidnapped. I told y'all all that. Go back and run the tape. So Nina tells Dre that she's afraid of what Kiesha might say in therapy. That's why she's not pushing her to go. But I was like, girl, you just got to deal with whatever happens. Like, you cannot be afraid. Like, you have to be the strong person at this point for your child. So Dre invites one of Keisha's friends over without telling Nina, and Nina is pissed. She was like, you didn't run this by me. I don't think this is a good idea. And it wasn't a good idea because her little ratchet ass friend ain't shit. Soon as the little bitch goes to the door, she gonna tell me, I'm glad you ain't dead. I would have told her, get the fuck out. I wouldn't have gave a fuck. I would have told her, get the fuck out. Gone. Take your little retarded ass on up out of my house. But Kiesha let the little girl come in the room, and they in the bed and they talking or whatever, and she like Nina does get mad at Dre though for inviting the little girl over without her permission. So the little girl and Kiesha in the room, and she trying to help Kiesha with her hair, because Lord knows it needs to be fixed, child. And they sitting on the bed, and she get to talking about doing threesomes and shit with her nigga, and want another nigga to join in, and Kiesha just like tuning her out, because like the shit that she's talking is just like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Like none of it makes sense. None of it is important to her life after everything that she's been through. And then Kiesha asks the little girl, what has everybody been saying about her? And the little girl tells her that people been saying that the man that kidnapped her was her real daddy, or it was somebody she was messing around with on the low. And Keisha's like, that did not happen. Like, what the fuck? So then Kiesha confronts her little friend on talking to the press. And to the press, the little girl basically said in so many words that, you know, she don't really know what's the real, what's the truth, what Kiesha ass was up to. And she didn't have Keisha's back at all. And so Kiesha ended up cussing her ass out and told her to get the fuck out. And I don't blame her, because you don't need friends like that, girlfriend. So Kiesha then tells her mama and them that she can't wait to go to college. But we're then hit with a double whammy when we learn that her scholarship has been given away. I was like, God damn, like the school couldn't have held that motherfucker for her, considering she was a kidnapped victim. Like, I'm pretty sure like there's something that could be done, like Jesus Christ. So of course Kiesha is pissed, but I was like, remember in the beginning of the season, at that wedding, you was telling Emma, you was like, I don't even know if I want to go to school. You gotta be careful what you speak out of your mouth. You gotta be real careful, people, what you say out of your mouth, because at the beginning of the season, she was, I don't even know if I want to leave, I want to stay here in Chicago, and now everything that happened, she want to get her ass up out of there. So be careful what you say with your mouth, honey. Speak life and death with your tongue. So Kiesha then trashes her room because she is just so upset. And then the next day, Kevin asks his mama, can Jake and Papa come over? Because, you know, the mama want him to stay close to the house, you know, because Keisha's at home. But he basically just want to go. He ain't really vibing with Kiesha. Kiesha don't want to talk to him. So he just like basically fuck it. Like, once again, to me, he just being so unsympathetic. So Jake brings him a vape pen. They in the room getting high. I was like, Kevin is bad as fuck now. So Jada and Emmett stop by with food that Dominique cooked. Emmett goes into Kevin's room. Remember last time he walked in on him whacking off or whatever. So he was like, look, please let me know if I should even be entering this motherfucker. So he go in the room and see if they been in there smoking. He was like, I told you use cologne. Like, that Febreze shit did not work. So he asked Kevin about Kiesha, and Kevin was like, you know, all she do is sit in her room and stare at the wall. She don't want to talk to nobody, this, and that. So Jada gives Nina and Dre tips on, you know, things that she knows about kidnapped victims or victims that have been molested or raped or whatever. She running everything down for them. And Nina in particular is finally realizing how deep this shit goes and that she can't continue to shield her. So Emmett then goes to Keisha's room and knocks on the door, and she walks out and he was like, hi. She just stand there and he hug her and she lets him hug her, and then she invites him into her room. And Drake was like, I be god motherfucking damn. Like, this nigga her. Like, she won't talk to us, but she'll talk to him. And then I noticed that she got her cornrows. I guess she cornrowed her hair. So Kiesha asked him to stay and talk to her or whatever, you know, and I was like, good. Like, she's finally talking to somebody. So he tells her that he cheated on Tiffany with Dominique, and she was like, nigga, your ass still ain't changed. Like, what the fuck? But like I told y'all, I don't see it for Tiffany and Emmett at all. Like, I don't even really see it for him and Dominique neither, but I really don't see it for him and Tiffany. So Jake asked Kevin, has he smashed Gemma yet? And he was like, why? Like, why the fuck you want to know? He was like, because I heard them rich girls be freaks or whatever. And I was like, no, you want to know because you want to smash. You better watch your friend, Kevin. You better watch your motherfucking friend. Watch your back, nigga. So Jada asked Dre how she and Nina are, you know, because they cool, they like this. And she was like, we fine. And she was like, I remember you called me the other day asking you sleep on my couch. So obviously things are not all that great between y'all. You ain't got a front for me, girlfriend. You ain't got a front for me. So Kiesha tells Emmett that she's been reading what people been saying about her online. And he was like, you can't be reading that shit. Like, don't do that to yourself. Like, you will send yourself down a rabbit hole listening and reading what people got to say about you. So he tells her that she got to find a way to move on. Like, and that's honestly the truth. Like, she has to find a way to get herself out of this Because if she allows herself to sit in it too long, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And he apologized to her. She was like, what you apologize to me for? He was like, because, you know, if I wouldn't have been a fuck ass nigga, maybe we could have still been together and this would have never happened. And she was like, boy, if we were still together, you'd be cheating on me with your employee. And that was just so funny. I just love their friendship. I love their friendship a lot. He's like the only girl that he can really be real with. So Drake continues to push for Kiesha to get help. But once again, Nina ain't really trying to listen to what the hell she got to say. And she was like, you know, if you ain't never been a victim yourself, then you don't know how hard this is. And he was like, just because you're still broken don't mean that she got to be that way. And you can tell that she's still suffering from her own abuse. That's why she's not trying to push Kiesha, but she can't do what she did for herself to her daughter. So Emmett tells Kiesha that he bought Sonny's, and she was like, damn, like the glow up is real. So Papa started tweaking because he and her smoking, and I swear to God, y'all, Papa act just like me when I'm high. The few times I've gotten high in my life, I freaked the fuck out. I was crying for my mama. My left foot started burning. I started seeing double of everything. Like, that's why I do not drink. I don't smoke because the shit is just not that good for me, child. But that shit was funny. It just reminded me of myself when I was a teenager. So Emmett gets Kiesha to eat the food, and she started dogging that shit. That shit was fire to her. And so Nina and Dre get excited when they hear her laughing and talking. They rush out the room, and everybody come out into the kitchen area and start getting ready to eat. And then here come Papa ass ruining the goddamn floor of everything by trying to give Kiesha the tip money that her kidnapper gave him. And I was like, Papa, why the fuck would you do some shit like that? Now, normally, Papa is the voice of reason, but in this case, he fucked up everything. So then everything just goes off the rail. Kiesha started going off about why the fuck y'all didn't find me soon. I was right around the corner. Well, how the fuck was they supposed to know you was right around the corner? Like, the fuck? How you gonna get mad at your mama and them? So Kevin then blames Kiesha for being grown. He was like, basically, if you wouldn't have been out here thotting and bopping when none of this shit ever happened. And she was like, so you blaming me? And then he was like, I mean, why you sitting up here trying to yell at me? You need to be asking them why they packed up your room. And so shit just really went left. Kevin up here cussing and shit in front of his damn mama, and he storming the room, and Nina and Dre follow him, and he steady cussing. I wish they would have had Nina slap the dog shit out of Kevin, because Kevin ass was acting a fool on this episode. He needed to be slapped, and them trout mouth ass lips of his, he was acting a fool. I hated his character. He was just being so fucking selfish and just worried about him and not wanting to deal with everything. The whole family need fucking counseling, but they should have had her slap the dog shit out of Kevin, because he acted a fool. And he every time he want things to go back to normal. Well, nothing will ever be normal with y'all family anymore, nigga. So the boy's like, we got to go. And so Jada then goes in Kiesha's room to go talk to her, but Emmett leaves, and Jada tells Kiesha that, you know, healing is a journey. It's going to take a long time for you to get through this. And Kiesha said she doesn't recognize herself anymore. And I was like, you've changed. And I remember even after I got sick and had to have 3 major surgeries, like, I had changed. I wasn't the old me anymore. I had morphed into a new person after you go through such a health crisis like I did and almost died and having to get poked and prodded with needles and going to the doctor every 2 weeks and having your stomach cut open 3 times within a year, like, and a half. Like, your whole life changed. You see life in a whole new way. So no, you don't recognize yourself because you shed your old skin and you become a new person. So Jada tells her that she blamed herself for being assaulted by a family member for years, and that she had anxiety on holidays of seeing this person. And she was like, you're gonna have to find a way to get through this. And Kiesha was like, damn, like, she didn't even know that she was a victim. So Jada tells her that if she's waiting to feel normal again, she's gonna be waiting a long time. You have to start a new normal at this point. So Ronnie stops by, and Dre and Nina are surprised. And he was like, Kiesha asked me to come. So he sits down at the table with Kiesha and she asks him, why can't she sleep? Like, she says every night when she tries to sleep, all she can see is her kidnapper's face. And he was like, you know, I suffer from the same thing because I killed someone, talking about the little boy from season 1, and I see his face every day. It's just not something you're going to be able to get over. He tells her, you know, not to drown her sorrows in liquor. She was like, I promise I won't. And she thanks him for saving her life. And he was like, no, thank you for giving my life meaning, because now he feels like I guess he has retribution now for everything that he did in his past, and he's trying to get on the right path for himself. So he leaves, and then we see Kiesha pack up all her old hoe attire and her awards, and then she go in the bathroom on some left eye shit and start burning them in the goddamn tub. And I was like, bitch, you about to burn up the house, and what the fuck? And her mama smelled the smoke and coming there and was like, what are you doing? Like, do you think this is gonna help you? And she was like, maybe if I wouldn't have been wearing these scampy clothes, this wouldn't have happened to me. Her mom was like, it don't matter what you wear, nobody has the right to touch you, and that is the God's honest truth. Jada, I'm sorry, Nina tells Kiesha, I'm sorry I wasn't there to save you. And Kiesha said, it's okay, I saved myself. And that's something that a lot of people have to learn, that in life, it's going to be a lot of times where you have to save yourself in life, where you won't have mama, you won't have daddy, you won't have a boyfriend, you won't have friends. You got to get yourself up, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get to work and save yourself. And when you do save yourself, it's one of the best things that you can do for yourself. It builds up your self-esteem, it builds up your courage, your strength. And when you've gone through the roughest things in life that you could possibly go through, and you get yourself out of it, it's one of the most rewarding things that you could ever do. And Lord knows I have picked myself up and dusted myself off several times in life. So I know that feeling. I love that line when they had her say, I had to learn how to save myself, because I was like, Lord Jesus, that ain't the truth. And so then we see it snowed outside, and Kiesha is geared to go to therapy with her mom and Dre. But when they get outside, she just stand there and freeze, and they're like, are you okay? And she just stands there, and then the clip goes off. But like I said, this is going to be a journey for her character to come out of this. This is going to be her storyline. It looks like Ronnie's character is exiting the show as of next week, and I'm happy for that. I feel like his spot on the show is done. He's come full circle. Bring somebody else in, a new storyline can start. So I'm excited about Ronnie's character departing off into the sunset. I can't wait to see where these last 2 episodes are going to go. It's obvious that Tiffany's character is going to learn that Emmett cheated on her. We're going to see the fallout with this whole thing with Jake and Doodah and all that stuff. So I'm excited to see where the rest of this season is going to go. I give tonight's episode overall, I give it a B-. I wish that the actress that played Kiesha would be able to emote feelings better. But she did a good job of what she could do with the character and what was given to her, I guess. But I just really wish there would have been more emotion in feelings and in her facial. Like she doesn't do good with her facial expressions. But other than that, I liked it. It was a decent episode. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I will see you guys on the next video. Love you. Bye.